All systems go. Cleared for takeoff.
This is the MLB Quick Hit video brought to you by SHIPITNation.com. I am Gyiraszin, and I'm excited to dive into this huge 14-game slate we have on a Tuesday. But hey, before we do so, we got to keep them bosses happy. So hey, we got a little housekeeping to do. So hey, make sure you hit that like button for me. Make sure you hit that subscribe button over there to the SHIPITNation.com YouTube page. And then hey, make sure you get over there, SHIPITNation.com. We still got a little bonus going on here for anybody here who's going to be a family founding member. So we got a last call up until Thursday. We got a big PGA event going on here. So make sure you guys get in there. Hey, we got all kinds of giveaways. We share back with the people with some free tickets to future contests. We got all kinds of discounts. So hey, make sure you get in over there before you get left out and be a family founding member here at SHIPITNation.com. So make sure you get over there and check that out. But hey, let's dive into this huge 14-game slate here we got here for today. Kind of excited. Hey, yesterday we were looking and talking about some games here, and I was really liking that Angels team. They scored 9 runs last night. Shohei Ohtani, show me the money, Mr. Shohei, like that there. But man, Luzardo made me drink a couple extra Modelo's last night. It happened, single entry. You know, I didn't end up cashing in all the ones that I really like to. I ended up cashing a couple min cash ones. Shohei with them 2 homers got me in, but Luzardo just, kicked my ass off to a shitty start, you jerk. Hey, that happens sometimes in DFS. But hey, the thought process was there. We were right on it. As far as the Angels, I did talk about that game stack. I saw our boy Tambo shipped a couple tickets, so congrats to Tambo. Hopefully you can cash them in on something good. But hey, let's get right in here to this 7-game slate. We got a little bit of weather we might have to pay attention to tonight. We got a possible delay in Colorado and Boston, and then that Cleveland game isn't looking all that good either. So Pittsburgh, Cleveland, that being. So that one looks like it could be a washout, so stay away from that one. But hey, this 14-game slate, we do have some high team totals here. We got one high game total of 10. Yesterday we saw 4 games with 10. We only have one today, that being Kansas City and Cincinnati. So I'll be liking that one. We got 5 teams with team totals of 9 and 9.5. We got 4 games between 7 and 7.5. So pretty tight today. We don't really have that many high scoring runs there for the boys out there in Vegas. High team totals today, Boston sitting at 5.9 as of now. Houston 5.4 going against Corbin. And then the Dodgers also coming in at 5.4 against Lance Lynn. Low team totals, Miami 3.3, Washington 3.4, Cleveland 3.4. But we might get into that a little bit later here with some of those pitchers. But we'll get into some pitching here in a minute. But, man, big 14-game slate. So, hey, don't be afraid to cross some of these games off. Narrow it down for yourself a little bit. Just cross off some of these games as far as hitting that you're not looking at. These 7.5 games, 7 games. I mean, you might maybe a one-off if you think somebody's hot, maybe like a Jose Ramirez for Cleveland or something like that, if you wanted to go that route. But, I mean, I just X some of these games off, try to narrow it down for myself, that's for sure. But, hey, we got to start off with some pitchers here that I like today. So let's get into some of my favorite pitchers. So let's just dive right into that. I'll tell you what. One of my favorite guys here that I've always liked, and strikeouts I really like. I like chasing the K props as far as, bets go. I think that's one of my favorite bets in all of baseball is to chase some K props. Just something there. I think it's just more consistent, especially with some of these strikeout pitchers. We got a handful of them on here today that I like. I got 5 or 6 guys that I'm looking at here in this huge 14-game slate. My favorite 2 guys here up at the top, one being Max Scherzer. Max, 8 Ks in his last 3 games, 50 points. FanDuel points his last 2 out of 3. Yankees got a little bit watered down lineup. without Mr. Judge here today. And I like that K prop sitting at 6.5 at some books. I'll tell you what, I already bet that one. I think Max gets 8 to 9 Ks here tonight against this Yankee team. So another guy that I really like that stand out, a little bit more expensive than Max over there on FanDuel, but that's Corbin Burnes against Minnesota. Man, I'll tell you what, the K rate for Minnesota is the highest in all of MLB against right-handed pitching. He's had 7 Ks in his last 3, and he shares the highest K prop and for the books here at 7.5. So Corbin Burnes putting it back together. I think Burnes is a very strong option here against this Minnesota team. So I'll be looking to roster a little bit of Corbin Burnes along with some Max. I think those are my favorite 2 plays. But some other guys I was looking at, some Hunter Brown against Washington, a heavy favorite, minus 270. So you got some win equity there. I like that. He's had a bunch of Ks his last 4 out of 5 games. Washington, though, is not a team that I like to attack as far as to go after some Ks. Very low K rate as a team, but definitely interesting there. I like the high upside for a win, especially being a minus 270 favorite. He can get me 5 to 6 Ks and get me that 6 or 7 innings in a win. Definitely interested in some Hunter Brown. Another guy, George Kirby against Miami. Miami's just got a bad offense. Kirby, a low walk total. I mean, this is a guy here. We saw Miller last night light them up as well. So I think Kirby's a pretty strong option. Maybe a little bit of pivot off some of these chalky guys if you wanted to look there. Maybe, but pretty expensive. The highest price guy at 10.8. So I think you're going to see some people shy away from Kirby. Also, Musgrove here going against Cleveland. I think that's about as low as I'd go today with Musgrove. Now, Cleveland's another team that really doesn't strike out much. Don't like going after as far as Ks, but you know what? Musgrove, he's just been a solid guy, getting us 5-6 innings, 95 to 100 pitches. If we can get there tonight against this team here that's pretty weak slugging wise, just not a lot of runs coming out of Cleveland, just a team that just never going to stack. Jose Ramirez obviously has been hitting the ball pretty well here recently, but I think at that discount 8,500, we might be able to get us mid-30s, maybe low 40 points out of Musgrove. So definitely interested in that. Another guy I'd be looking at, Cabrera. He has a high K prop, 6.5 against Seattle. Seattle has been striking out a ton as a team, but a little hesitant there. I've been hearing Cabrera's got a little issue with some blisters. So just somebody that I might just be careful of. I'd like to see it a starter too. So blisters are pretty tough for pitchers to go through. But looking at here, my favorite stacks of the day. Let's get into that here, moving on. So, man, I'll tell you what, I got 4 stacks I'm looking at. All of them got home run upside. All of them got stolen base upside. But my favorite of the day, the Cincinnati Reds against Mr. Lyles. 18 home runs is the most he's given up in all of MLB. So I'll be looking at that. 10 out of the 18 have been to lefties. And Cincinnati also, I'll tell you what, they got 8 stolen bases in the last 7 days. So they are definitely getting after it as far as stolen bases. So, get that poor man's home run. You can get that power home run that we've been looking for, especially 18 home runs out of Lyles. Definitely looking to be getting some Cincinnati bats. Another team, I'm going to go right back to them, Angels. Angels against Texas. Starters kind of up in the air as of now. We'll have to hear who's going to be in there, but I'm going to expect more of a bullpen type game. Angels, one of the hottest hitting teams in all of MLB. 12 homers in their last 7 days. This game also has been bumped up from 9 to 9.5. So I kind of like to look at that. And as far as stolen bases go, the Angels have been swiping some bags too with 7 in the past week. So definitely like the Angels here against Texas. I'm also going to be looking at Houston. They're going to be probably pretty chalky against Corbin Burnes, who's just been god-awful, as everybody knows. 12 earned runs his last 17 innings. But Houston's a pretty cheap stack. You can look at, especially without Alvarez. You can look at some guys like Pena. You can look at some guys like Tucker, pretty cheap. Bregman's pretty cheap. So pretty fairly cheap stack. Jolks. So I definitely like some Houston there. And then one of my other favorite stacks of the night is one of my favorite teams, late night hammer, the Dodgers against Fat Boy Lance Lynn. Lance Lynn's just been god awful. I don't know if it's that pitch clock that's just wearing him out. He can't just seem to get in the groove. Just been giving up all kinds of runs. It's 13 earned runs his last 9 innings. Third most home runs for the Dodgers against right-handed pitching. Sounds like just pure disaster here for Lance Lynn and the Chicago White Sox. So Dodgers for me, late night hammer, definitely looking tasty. I'll be looking to go after that one there. So let's get into some hitters real quick here before we get into this late night slate here. But hey, I'll tell you, man, a couple of my favorite hitters are standing out here. One of my favorite hitters tonight, Mr. Ellie Cruz, man. This guy here is just a phenom. I mean, this guy, for one, we already know Lyle Stinks, 18 homers, but this guy, 7 of 15 against right-handers, 867 slugging so far, and this guy definitely can steal some bag. Ellie Cruz, one of my favorite bats here tonight. Another one, Freddie Freeman, hitting 471 his last 7 days, top 5 OPS as well. And I like Freddie's matchup against Fat Boy Lance Lynn, one of my favorite Dodgers here tonight. And then we're going to go back to Shohei. Shohei, me the money. Shohei has been hot. He's one of the hottest hitters in all of MLB. I mean, how can you? I mean, this guy's one of the best players in baseball. I'll take some Shohei all day long in that matchup against the Rangers. As I mentioned, that stack is looking pretty tasty. And then another guy here that I have that I found following and I found interesting is Jock Peterson against Flaherty. Flaherty's got a pretty high fly ball rate. Peterson's one of the top hitters in the charts in the last week. He's pretty high up there as far as average OPS, everything else. So Jock Peterson is a guy that I'd be looking at. Hey, that's going to do it here for the quick hit video. Make sure you guys get over there, SHIPITNation.com. Make sure you guys check out the 4:30 show. And hey, make sure, I got a little news here, late news. Make sure you guys in this video here, put in the chat, put in hashtag SHIPIT. Let me know who your favorite stacks are, who your favorite pitchers. And I heard from the top brass, we might be picking some giveaways out of those mentions. So make sure you guys get in there, mention your favorite stacks, favorite pitchers. Get over there to SHIPITNation.com. Good luck, and let's crush it.